Have you ever wondered what would happen if you listened to English stories every single day? Will your English improve automatically? Will you start speaking fluently without fear? Today, I'm going to share something very interesting that can completely change your English learning journey. Before we start, this is a new channel and I really need your support. Please help me reach 1,000 subscribers by subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. It motivates me to create more helpful content for you. In this video, I will tell you 10 amazing benefits of listening to English stories every day. Let's begin. 1. Improves listening skills. When you listen to English stories every day, your listening skills improve step by step in a very natural way. At the beginning, you may not understand everything, and some words may sound difficult or unclear. But as you keep listening regularly, your ears slowly get used to the sounds, tone, and rhythm of the English language. You start recognizing common words and phrases without much effort. Your brain becomes faster at understanding spoken English, even when people speak at normal speed. Over time, you will notice that you don't need to replay audio again and again because your understanding becomes stronger. Daily listening also helps you understand different accents and speaking styles. This makes it easier for you to follow conversations, movies, and real-life discussions. In simple words, the more you listen, the better you understand. And this is one of the most important steps in learning English fluently. 2. Learn new words. When you listen to English stories every day, you naturally learn new words without putting extra effort into memorizing them. Instead of studying long vocabulary lists, you hear words in real sentences and meaningful situations. This helps you understand not only the meaning of the word, but also how and when to use it correctly. At first, some words may sound new or confusing, but when you hear them again and again in different stories, they become familiar. Your brain starts connecting those words with their meaning automatically. This makes learning vocabulary easier and more effective. You also learn expressions, phrases, and common ways of speaking that people use in real life. Because you learn these words in context, you are more likely to remember them for a long time and use them naturally while speaking or writing. 3. Better pronunciation. When you listen to English stories every day, you slowly learn how words are actually pronounced by native speakers. Many times, English words look different when written and sound different when spoken. By listening regularly, you understand the correct way to say each word, including its stress, tone, and rhythm. At the beginning, you might pronounce words incorrectly because you are used to reading them. But when you hear the same words again and again in stories, your pronunciation starts improving naturally. You begin to copy the way speakers talk, which helps you sound more clear and confident. Listening also teaches you how words connect in a sentence. Native speakers often join words together, and this can be difficult to understand at first. But with daily practice, your ears get trained, and you start speaking in a smoother and more natural way. 4. Improves understanding. When you listen to English stories every day, your overall understanding of the language becomes stronger and more natural. In the beginning, you may try to translate every word into your own language to understand the meaning. This can be slow and sometimes confusing. But with regular listening, your brain starts understanding English directly without the need for translation. You begin to catch the meaning of sentences just by listening, even if you don't know every single word. This makes your comprehension faster and smoother. Over time, you also learn to understand the context, emotions, and ideas behind the story. This helps you follow conversations, videos, and real-life situations more easily. In simple words, daily listening trains your mind to think in English and understand it naturally, just like your own language. 5. Boosts speaking confidence. When you listen to English stories every day, your confidence in speaking English grows naturally. In the beginning, Many learners feel nervous or afraid of making mistakes while speaking. This fear often stops them from expressing their thoughts clearly. But when you listen regularly, you become familiar with common words, phrases, and sentence patterns. You start understanding how sentences are formed and how people express their ideas in real conversations. This makes it easier for you to speak because you already have examples in your mind. Over time, you begin to feel more comfortable using English in daily situations. You don't hesitate as much, and your fear of making mistakes slowly disappears. Even if your English is not perfect, you gain the courage to speak and communicate. In simple words, the more you listen, the more confident you become in speaking English. 6. Learn sentence structure. When you listen to English stories every day, you naturally learn how sentences are formed in the correct way. Instead of memorizing grammar rules from books, you start understanding sentence patterns by hearing them again and again in real situations. At first, you may not notice it, but your brain is quietly learning how words are arranged in a sentence. You begin to understand where to use verbs, how to place adjectives, and how to form questions and statements correctly. This makes your English sound more natural and clear. Over time, you will start creating your own sentences without thinking too much about grammar rules. You won't need to translate from your language because you already know the correct structure in English. In simple words, regular listening helps you build strong grammar skills in an easy and natural way. 7. Improves focus. When you listen to English stories every day, your focus and concentration improve naturally. Stories are interesting and engaging, so your mind stays active while listening. Unlike boring study methods, stories make you curious about what will happen next, which helps you pay attention for a longer time. At the beginning, your mind may wander, and you might lose track of the story. But with regular practice, your ability to stay focused becomes stronger. You train your brain to listen carefully, follow the storyline, and understand the details. This improved focus not only helps in learning English, but also benefits other areas of your life, like studying or working. In simple words, listening to stories daily trains your mind to stay attentive, making learning easier and more effective. 8. Makes learning fun. When you learn English by listening to stories every day, the whole process becomes enjoyable instead of boring. Stories are full of interesting characters, situations, and emotions, which keep you entertained while you learn. You don't feel like you are studying, but at the same time, you are improving your English skills. Unlike traditional methods that can feel repetitive or stressful, stories make learning relaxed and engaging. You look forward to listening more because you want to know what happens next. This excitement helps you stay consistent in your learning journey. When learning is fun, you don't get tired or frustrated easily. You spend more time with the language without feeling pressure. In simple words, stories turn English learning into an enjoyable habit, making it easier to improve every day. 9. Helps in thinking in English. When you listen to English stories every day, your mind slowly starts shifting from your native language to English. At first, you may translate everything in your head before understanding or speaking. You begin to recognize words and sentences instantly without translating them. Over time, your brain gets trained to process English directly. This means you start thinking in English instead of converting ideas from your own language. At this stage, forming sentences becomes much faster and easier. You don't need to pause and think too much because English starts flowing naturally in your mind. In simple words, daily listening helps your brain adapt to English, making you a more fluent and confident speaker. 10. Builds daily habit. When you listen to English stories every day, it helps you build a strong and positive learning habit. At first, it may feel difficult to stay consistent, but when you make it a daily routine, it slowly becomes part of your lifestyle. You don't have to force yourself to learn English because it starts feeling natural. Doing something every day, even for a short time, is more powerful than studying for many hours in one day and then stopping for a long time. With consistency, you can clearly see progress in your listening, speaking, and understanding skills. Every day you become a little better than before. In simple words, building a daily habit of listening to English stories is the key to long-term fluency and success. So start listening to English stories every day and see the difference in your English. Don't forget to subscribe and be part of this journey.